welcome back to the TweakTown weekly podcast. We're going to be talking about games in this podcast, everything that's happened in the game world in the last week or so. There's a lot of movement in the world. DICE, Microsoft, Titanfall, Far Cry 4, Source 2. We're going to start with Source 2. So we had a tease during the week from a post on the NeoGAF forums from notorious leaker Seaboat. Seaboat posted a screen cap of what appears to be from a leaked Valve slideshow, which is showing off a modified Left 4 Dead 2 map based in the Source 2.0 engine. So we've previously seen that for the last 10 years or so, we've been working on the Source engine, which debuted with Half-Life 2, and then from then it's been heavily modified to add little bits and pieces like graphical effects and stuff like that through time, like with episode 1 and 2 and all the other games released since then. So this one shows off Source 2.0, which is Valve's next generation graphics engine. We can see that the level of detail is heavily increased. They used one of the plantation level from Left 4 Dead 2. You can see the screenshots above and below, and it's just a massive change from what what Valve showed off with the original Source engine, and then what Valve is reportedly showing off with Source 2. It does look a lot better. The procedural destruction seems to be highly improved. I personally think we're going to see Source 2 maybe unveiled with the official Steambox unveiling, or maybe debuted with Half-Life 3, which I'm hoping comes out at E3, or at least it's teased at E3, and then I'm guessing and estimating that maybe Valve will unleash Half-Life 3 on Steambox, which then obviously will come with Source 2. But we can only wish. Unfortunately, might not even be unveiled this year at all. Source 2 or Half-Life 3, that is. But I don't see Valve releasing Steambox without Half-Life 3. So we saw Microsoft post a revenue boost from the Xbox One over the 2013 holiday sales. Microsoft sold over 7.4 million Xbox 360 and Xbox One gaming consoles during the holiday season, which is a huge which is a huge number. Like 7.4 million units is good for the Xbox line of devices. And also the company, just a couple of days ago, announced that it had acquired all of the rights for existing and future Gears of War content. That includes entertainment experiences and merchandising rights. And then the company announced that there's a new Gears of War game already in production and is being developed by Black Tusk Studios, which is located in Canada. There's been no official announcement of the game. There's no news of the game apart from just that little tease. But Microsoft says that the franchise's former director of production, who was Rod Ferguson, he's taking oversight on the new game. So we should expect a new Gears of War title. I'm hoping that it's going to be based around the Xbox One and not on the Xbox 360. So we should see a true next-gen unveiling of the console, which we should of the game on next-gen console. Hopefully in the next couple of months, maybe at E3. Which is in June, so not far away now. We have Sony preparing for its slimmest launch in PlayStation history. So the Japanese company said that they're going to be launching their slimmest launch in PlayStation history, where they've invited press to a breakfast briefing, which is going to happen this week. All the invitation says is that it states, following the biggest launch in PlayStation history, join us for an introduction to the slimmest. So we're most likely going to expect a PS Vita Slim. I would love to see, and I posted in my news, I would love to see a PlayStation 4 Slim model. Sure, it'd be early, but it would really hurt Xbox One sales, and it'd be a huge boon for Sony to have a super slim next generation console. Who wouldn't want that? Two announcements from DICE this week. First, we had news about 4 or 5 days ago now, with DICE saying that it wanted Battlefield 4 gamers to help balance the game through feedback. The developer stated in its blog, "We have a wide range of tweaks planned for further balance to the core game of Battlefield 4 in upcoming patches, but we need your help identifying next steps." So we're looking at 5 potential steps that are being worked on. So these the changes will include the way weapons and vehicles take and receive damage with simple yes and no voting. The 5 tweaks include improving air defense for attack boats, increasing the FGM 148's damage against tanks, changing damage on stealth jet cannons, altering fast attack craft cannons, and buffing certain shells in the MBT and IFV. So we should see some change of Battlefield 4, which was pretty much a beta and still is a beta until it gets patched up a little bit. And the second announcement came about 24 hours ago now, with DICE trying to still keep Battlefield 4 fans happy. February is going to be a huge month for Battlefield 4 and DICE. So if you're playing Battlefield 4, February is going to be the huge month for you. We're looking at Battlefield 4 gamers who log into the game will receive a bronze battle pack during the week. So Monday to Friday, you'll receive a bronze battle pack, which will include just random pickups and weapons and attachments and stuff like that. And then on Saturday, Sundays, there's going to be silver battle packs that are given out. In between all of this, if you're a premium owner on Battlefield 4 Premium, you'll receive 2 additional shortcut bundles that will unlock all the DMRs and shotguns. In between all of that, there's also going to be, with all the battle packs that are released, with the bronze and silver, you will receive random XP boosts, like the 25, 50, 100% XP boosts and camouflage skins. There's also going to be 2 shortcut bundles released, which will unlock all of the grenade types and all of the handguns. In between February 1st and 28th, we're going to be seeing a double XP weekend in there as well. So expect DICE to really try and say sorry for all of the problems that Battlefield 4 has had since launch. It seems like every couple of days there's an apology or a double XP weekend or a free attachment or a free gun. This is just a continuation of that pledge that they're trying to fix things. You can't really complain at them. They are controlled by EA. EA pushed the game out early. DICE probably needed at least, even now, still till now, to work on. I would have expected maybe a March 2014 release would have been good. They could have released an extended beta which had more maps or something, or an extended demo, but they released the game to obviously better compete with Call of Duty. If it was me, I would have let Call of Duty Ghosts come out. Let that come out. Let everyone see how bad it was, because no one really, none of my friends, no one online really seems to be talking about that. With Battlefield 4, for the problems that has, it's still an amazing game. If it was patched up and working and stable, and 64 player servers didn't rubber band and there weren't glitches, it would be a great game. But it just has so many problems right now. Moving on, I don't know if you've heard, but there is a new version of Tomb Raider out. So it's still the reboot of Tomb Raider, but there's a new game out called Tomb Raider Definitive Edition. Definitive Edition is aimed at the next-gen consoles, so PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. We really shouldn't refer to them as next-gen now. We should really refer to them as current-gen. I would love to be able to report and call them, and even right now in the podcast, call them current-gen, but everyone else calls them next-gen. So if I call them current-gen, I'm going to seem like I'm a fool. So Tomb Raider Definitive Edition is hitting the next-gen consoles. The difference between the normal Tomb Raider and Tomb Raider Definitive Edition is obviously it's been revamped. A lot of people thought it would just be a quick repaint from the developer, and that we would see enhanced graphics and stuff like that, but that's not the case. There's actually a lot of stuff that's been added: dynamic graphic effects, weather effects, the trees move in the wind, they sway and stuff like that. There's a lot more stuff that just kicks up into your face, like dust and smoke and fire and heat. So the Definitive Edition on the PlayStation 4 runs at 60 FPS, 1080p, where Videogamer.com spoke with a Square Enix rep, the studio behind Tomb Raider, who said delivering the core Tomb Raider gameplay at native 1080p and running at 30 FPS is always our primary goal, given the type of experience Tomb Raider is and the exploration we wanted players to do. Anything beyond 30 FPS for this version is gravy. That's in regards to the Xbox One version, which reportedly runs at 30 FPS. So the PlayStation 4 seems to be the definitive version, which is strange. You think that it would be the other way around, given Microsoft is usually the company for hardware, but the PlayStation 4 is, in terms of actual hardware, is the faster console. So then you've got the other fact that 2 studios handled Tomb Raider Definitive Edition. So Nixus or Nixies, again I don't know how to pronounce that. They're the development studio that worked on Deus Ex Human Revolution. They worked on the PS4 version, and United Front Games worked on the Xbox One version. So there could be a little bit of a difference there, as the studios maybe Nixus handles more of the high end stuff, where United Front Games might not have been able to squeeze as much out of the refreshed engine that Definitive Edition runs under. We don't know yet. Speaking of next-gen consoles, CD Projekt Red, which is the studio behind the upcoming The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, came out during the week and said that not the studio itself, but Martin Iwinski, the CEO of the developer, talked to IGN, where he said there is a lot of power, referencing the next-gen console, there is a lot of power in these machines, and I don't want to say we're using them to their capacity, but we're fairly close to doing so. So we've spent a lot of time on these machines, and it's been a great experience across all three platforms: Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC, obviously. On the old platforms, now that the Xbox 360 and PS3 would have probably had to have sacrificed nearly half of our vision. So it looks like Witcher 3 is pretty close to maxing out the next-gen consoles already. A lot of people will see that as an attention grab, but it's not, because they're going to be pushing it, and then next year they're going to be able to squeeze out a little bit more, and then the year after they're going to squeeze out a little bit more. You look at GTA, say, 4 to GTA 5. That's a big difference on previous generation consoles. So, The Witcher 3 is a very, very good-looking game, but it's great to hear that they're pushing it to the limit, because that means for us as PC gamers, we're going to love it. We're going to get a game that's going to kick ass. We're going to get a game that looks great. We're going to get a game that wasn't held back, on a massive rope around its neck, like from old consoles, and they're very, very old, aging hardware. It's going to come out and it's going to actually look great. It's going to hopefully run great, because it's not having to be, again, made for current gen consoles and then just repainted up. Speaking of consoles and next-gen games, Vince Zampella, the co-founder of Respawn Entertainment, and he was the guy that used to run Infinity Ward, who made the original Call of Duty games before it all got into the huge mess with Activision, has confirmed through Twitter about Titanfall that there'll be a beta for Titanfall on both the Xbox One and PC. So he took to Twitter and said, I use the hashtag super secret, and then announcement time. I'm sure no one will be able to guess from the leaks. PC and Xbox One beta. Details in the coming days. Now, we reported this about 2 days ago, so we should hear more details about this in the coming days. We don't know what to expect from the beta, how long it's going to be. Will it be timed beta? How close it'll be to the final release? Will it be a finalized version? No details. Obviously, they're coming in the coming days. Come back for more. Hopefully, by the next podcast, we'll be able to give you some more details of that. The last title before we wrap up on this gaming podcast for the first one of 2014 is Far Cry 4. We heard about Far Cry 4 last year, strangely enough, from an ex-Red Hot Chili Peppers drummer who teased that he was working on some of the music and score for the game. Obviously, Far Cry 3 was a massive hit for Ubisoft, but Far Cry 4 will hopefully continue that. The latest tease comes from Xavier Plagnall, who is Ubisoft Shanghai studio design manager, who had his LinkedIn profile teasing that he worked from September 2013 to present as content director on the next Far Cry. So again, we're not getting a full confirmation. I think that we're going to get a confirmation closer to E3, but with all these leaks, I don't see how they can keep it a secret for very much longer. We're getting pretty close to really needing a new Far Cry, because there's not many big titles coming out in the next couple of months. Now that Battlefield 4 and Call of Duty here, not big titles, big first-person shooters. So hopefully we hear more of a tease, or maybe an announcement or a teaser trailer. So that's it for the gaming podcast. We hope that we're trying to keep these a bit thinner, a bit quicker, a bit more topic to topic. We might have more news next week. Depends on what happens in the gaming industry. Thanks for checking in, and we'll talk to you soon.